when we say let go of any garbage, we are talking about the two types of knowledge. In one way, we can say there are two types of knowledge, or we can say we perceive the world or the universe wrongly. This, the world, I see the wall, I don't see what is behind the wall. What is the ultimate cause of the wall? I see the bulb giving me the light, but I don't see the electric current. I see the waves, but I don't see the water. So, our master says that you have to look closely, you have to examine, you have to do the self inquiry. Yes, in recent times, modern science moved from physics to metaphysics, and they reached to a level of quantum physics. Quantum physics simply means that this matter I see is fundamentally energy, and that energy is one everywhere. But when this energy manifests at the worldly level we perceive through the senses appears different. So that is how our masters teaches what I am and what I am not. What I am lies deep inside at the subtlest level. So there is another explanation what I am not. What I am not, what is changing, that I am not. So we see the entire world that is constantly changing. The body is changing, mind is changing, intellect is changing, thoughts are changing, ego is changing, house is changing, car is changing, all the objects are changing. But for changing, there has to be some unchanging element for its foundation. If anything that changes has a foundation of change only, it cannot stay. It cannot be perceived. So that what I am does not change. What I am does not change. And the what I am not is constantly changing. So different masters have presented in a different way. As far as we say, okay, there are two types of the world. One is the constant changing world, and the other is the unchanging world beneath it. It's the foundation. The earth is moving around its own axis, and earth is also moving around the sun. So moving around the sun appears as if the entire earth is changing, obviously. But the earth has its axis at the center. That center is unchanging. That center is unchanging. The wheels are constantly moving, but the very center of the wheels of the car is unchanging. So, yes, you are right. You rightly said in the end that it demands a discernment. Discernment. When we have a discernment, we filter out what is changing. So then what is left? That is, what is left is the unchanging. What is that left is unchanging. It is already with me. That is what I am. And that is a beautiful way you explain. Perhaps I also explained in a more or less in a similar way. We don't say that we discover the knowledge. Knowledge already exists. All the text of Eastern wisdom says this knowledge already exists. So when I say I'm a teacher and I teach you, I'm simply unfolding in your mind that real self which is already present in you. I'm unfolding that knowledge. So, the role of a teacher to use the text which contains the knowledge of the self to personalize and present in a way based on your personality, your attitude, your prarabdha. So, when we have a deep insight into your personality, we change the expression of that knowledge, but the knowledge is the same. So, yes, I have been talking a lot about it in a different way. So, how my master got the knowledge from his master, and ultimately, what is the ultimate source? It is the consciousness. What is that consciousness? It is the real self. Where is the real self? It is with you, it is with me. It is you and it is with me. So it means there are two real self? No. It is a reflection. Like you have 10 pots full of water, the sun is one. The sun is reflecting in all the 10 pots filled with the water. The sun remains only one. So, from the reflected point of view, we say there are 10 suns. There are 10 real self. Fact is that it is only the one. But then what happens? Why my mind does not accept this? I'm different, I'm separate from you, I live too far from you. So I am talking from the point of view of the body. I am talking from the point of view of the time and the space. So where and who invented the time and the space? Mind. The mind invented the time and space. So unless we transcend the mind, we cannot find the real self. Because mind invented time and place, it wants to live into the time and space, so it differentiates, it separates. It says, I am here means my body and mind is here, there you are. It means I have already taken for granted that I am the body mind complex, I am not the real self. So that is the ignorance. So how come this ignorance comes? This ignorance comes because of the default mind. So now we reach to the question of what is this default mind. So absence of discernment leads to the default mind. Lack of awareness leads to the default mind. So how this lack of awareness leads to default mind. So you can categorize this default mind when we understand the exact nature of the default mind. We can find how the ignorance, delusion, and impurity is present in the mind, causes the suffering, and hides our real nature. So, for the sake of understanding, default mind is a casual mind, default mind is a foolish mind, default mind is a deluded mind, default mind is the impure mind. So, masters who have written the text, in different texts, they have taken only one aspect of the default mind. Somebody takes only the casual mind and they explain. Either the second takes the foolish mind. Third group of the teachers take the deluded mind. So, as a higher seeker, we should have a comprehensive and clear understanding of these four different types of the mind. Casual mind, you wake up in the morning and you don't have any intent, you lack the serious intent, it is informal, it is unplanned, and it seeks convenience and habitual pleasure. It is like your pet is sitting and looking at you. The moment you stand up, the pet follows you. That is your casual mind. But unless you say, no, you sit there, unless you have trained that mind, you have raised a bit level of awareness in the pet, and then the pet kept sitting, but the pet has an inner urge to run after you. Casual mind. So we have a casual mind when we wake up in the morning, and from nowhere the thought comes from the past. For example, the same cute and beautiful girl, and then the mind goes into stress or anxiety or reaction or attachment. So that either results into a foolish mind. Foolish mind is ignorant, confused, dull, and lethargic. Then the deluded mind misidentifies with the fleeting mental states. It is full of projections. And the impure mind, it contains lot of habit, of binding desire. So all comes under the same, we say, the default mind. So we discussed couple of sessions that default mind should move to a discerning mind. So it would be a good thing to understand comprehensively what each default mind is. First, take the casual mind. It is an informal, unplanned, and convenience-seeking state that chases momentary pleasures. It acts without deliberate intent or higher purpose. Oh, you wake up in the morning, let me take a cup of coffee. Yes, you've taken the cup of coffee. No, I'm not feeling good, so hence I will not do the practice. Oh, casual mind. So you are missing the discernment. The discerning mind says, no, you have to do the practice. Come on. But why this casual mind is, this state reflects our tendency to avoid effort and seek ease. It is drawn to instant gratification rather than contentment. All the animal mind, they seek the contentment, they run after you, you show them the bite and they jump on you, yes. And you claim that they love you, they don't love you. So this casual mind, was more we recognize this casual mind, we can prevent fight and reaction to the world outside, to the society and people. So you have to recognize the moments. You have to recognize the moments when you act from impulse or comfort rather than clarity. You pause before reacting. Ask yourself, am I seeking convenience or contentment? Am I seeking contentment? But you have just woke up in the morning and you are rushing towards a cup of tea. What do you mean by it? Mind? Why you are not doing some practice before you take anything? The casual mind thrives on distraction. You wake up in the morning, you have many distractions, it's a casual mind. Its comfort zone is chaos, masked as laser. Illusion keeps the spirit restless and unfulfilled. Notice your daily routine. That is why now you can easily understand why I always say that I wake up exactly at 4. If early, I have more time to practice. It doesn't mean that I fall into sleep and I say, I will not be able to keep myself fresh. No. Yesterday I woke up at around 3:15 and the casual mind will return, but it loses its power when you are a seeker. So the casual mind says, "Oh, let us sleep until 4." And I asked that casual mind, is sleep under your control? No. So why don't you do the practice? I started the practice. So I had one more hour.
Are there ever times where you're like just so tired you just don't want to do it?
That is also coming from the casual mind. You start doing it and your fatigue and tiredness comes. You are extremely fatigued and you have to catch a plane. What happens to your fatigue?
Gone.
So when it is gone on such a worldly activity, why it should not go when I am a seeker? So I have a lack of intent. I have that drive is not there. My one day will be lost in the journey of the self-discovery is more important than catching a plane. We don't have that intent.
Mm.
So when we don't have that intent, then I'm tired, I'm fatigued, and we want leisure, we want comfort. So I have to notice the daily activities. Where does the comfort rule over me? How could small acts of awareness, even while eating or speaking, transform ordinary moments into a gateway to a presence? I get rid of the lack of awareness. So that is the story of casual mind. More than deeper, we normally don't recognize is the foolish mind. Foolish mind means confused mind. Confused mind is dull, lethargic, confused. It repeats old mistakes because it resists learning and reflection. So whenever you have a foolish mind, so you say that you lack discernment. Your mind does not even think of, let me apply the discernment and see what happens. It resists, it fights with the learning and reflection. Why? Why? Because of ignorance. What is ignorance? The forgetfulness of my true nature. The foolish mind confuses knowledge with understanding. Knowledge with understanding. I may have a knowledge. Your guy told me discernment. That is an intellectual knowledge, but understanding is not there. So the foolish mind takes over. So what we should do? Practice mindful inquiry. We have to do the inquiry. Each time you make an error or react emotionally, ask what belief or illusion led me here. Use this question gently but firmly. What it means, why I am dull, why I feel lethargic, why mind wants to move to the laser to no, let me do it. Let me do the practice. Can you recall a recent misjudgment that you repeated? What habitual thought powered? Awareness alone begins the correction of the foolish mind. Both are different layers of the discernment we have to apply in our daily life. The deluded mind, the third is the deluded mind. It is further deeper. Deluded minds, it projects happiness, it projects peace onto the objects, onto the person, onto the situation, onto the relations. And when it projects happiness, it has already projected happiness. It is taken for granted happiness is there. then it starts chasing. And in chasing it, there is an effort. An effort of the mind is also supported by the fear and a sense of anxiety. What will happen if she says, I hate you, but I love her? Love her. That love is no, it is projection. So the deluded mind misidentifies with the thoughts, emotions, accomplishment, or failures. It projects the self. It projects the self onto the changing circumstances. It says, that is why we say my soul mate. Means my real self has been projected on the real self, on the girl. Is it possible?
No.
But we do it. The mind assumes permanence because the real self is there. My soul, my honey, I cannot live without you. You are already living. You have projected and you are not able to understand. You are not discerning. I cannot live without you on a phone. How far are you, honey? Is oh, she is in Australia. Shake your head. You are already living too far. So we lack the discernment. The mind assumes permanence, permanence in transient experiences. The projection creates an endless chase. That is the biggest problem. I get frustrated with one person, I chase the second. I leave the second, I chase the third. And it creates a hamster wheel. We don't realize it, we don't recognize it, and we continue to suffer from anxiety, fear, duality, conflict. Deluded mind is deeper than foolish mind, deeper than the casual mind.
Yeah.
So we need a tremendous power of awareness or self-awareness or commitment or intent. And then comes the impure mind, what keeps you clouded all the time. You bought a house, there is a shining floor, you don't clean it, and ultimately the dirt and the dust is accumulated on the floor. By the power of discernment, you know the floor is still shining. The shining of the floor is not damaged and destroyed. So what do? You remove the dirt and the dust and shining floor is there. But why I gave this example? That real self is always intact, it is always available. But the dirt and the dust have been accumulated over this. That is what the impure mind is. So what is that dirt and the dust of the mind? Which you say the impurity, your binding desire, your attachment, your aversion, your greed, your hesitation. These are the symptoms of your impure old memories, unconscious desires. It does not allow you to see the shining real self.
Yeah.
Purity? Well, what does it mean by purity? Purity is a clarity. Impurity is a distortion. At the physical level, dirt and the dust on a shining floor. But when you take it at the mental level, that mental purity is the clarity, impurity is the distortion. When impressions dominate perception, when impression dominates, dictates, colors perception, truth cannot be seen as it is. How she is my honey? I have already, my impression dominated the perception. My perception, my sense organ and my mind, when it is pure, it says she is also a girl or he is a boy, simple. But impression is over there in the mind. It dictates, it colors the perception, then the eye cannot see the truth as it is. So what we need to do, we have to engage in cleansing practices. How to clean that mind? Self-inquiry. What is self-inquiry? It has a power of discernment and dispassion. Self-reflection, journaling, meditation, Mangalacharan, all practices also helps you to purify the mind. So we have done the casual mind, then we have done casual mind, then we have done the foolish mind, then we have done the deluded mind, we have understood the impure mind. Now the first 4 layers of the default mind is already present. Almost they reach to a point of being a non-seeker. And what a non-seeker does? Their mind is the reactive mind, the 5th category. They always react. You have already told me about your dad. Always wants to react. His reaction is his judgment. Do you see that? So, they don't want to understand. Why? Because they claim they have already understood. But what they have understood the impurity as purity. They have understood as a projection, as a perception. They have understood as a what? The second category is the foolish mind. First category is the casual mind. They think whatever comes to their mind is right. I told you, son, don't do this. Why don't I do it? Now I'm your dad. Because I'm your dad, wrong reasoning. There is no cause and effect relationship. I'm your dad. I told you not to do it, so you don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm your boss. Don't do it. No, but let me find out the cause and effect. This reactive mind, default mind's core function is reactivity. When the default mind settles in the first 4 categories, then we have a reactivity. It operates on autopilot, conditioned by the past, shaped by the fear, sustained by the projection. The dad fears because if the son does not listen to me, my wife will also not listen to me. So they have created a habit. They project. I don't know whether you have those experiences or not. The mind falsely equates external pleasure with fulfillment. The cognitive mistake, not cognitive understanding, and their mind constantly oscillates between attachment and aversion, delusion and projection, with a casual, they don't have an intent and still they do it. Without cultivating the awareness, I cannot understand the journey of the self-discovery, and that is why they are non-seekers. They don't understand what is being a seeker. They don't want to understand, and they continue their life in this way. Sometimes they move into the reactive mind, sometimes they move into the impure mind, sometimes they move into the deluded mind, foolish mind, in the casual mind. Casual mind. So once you should think of it or categorize them. It's a casual mind, it's a foolish mind, it's a deluded mind, it's a reactive mind. Oh, it's a reactive mind, it's an impure mind. So constantly during the day, you maintain your awareness. And what is the way to maintain your awareness? Simple way. Whenever you are surrounded by anxiety, duality, fear, confusion, dullness, etc., any negative experiences you have, it is because of the default mind. and then come and categorize you. First, I have to become aware. Then I'm into the default, into the control by the default mind. I have to find it out and get rid of it.
Yeah.
You look at a person and you are full of anger inside, default mind. No, no, there he is a crazy. No, no, calm down. No, no human being is crazy. From the reactive mind, you move up to the impure mind, so the power is less. Oh, this is the impure mind because I feel the rage and anger, and oh, I feel the fear. Oh, that is also the impure mind. So go ahead. Oh, where is the projection? Let me see why the deluded mind is creating such a state. And then you move to the foolish mind and confusion. You get rid of the confusion, casual mind, and that is the process. You move to the discernment, and when you discernment, the moment you have a discernment, your anger goes, confusion goes, fear goes.
Yeah.
So what happens is default mind manipulates, which we are not aware. It manipulates unconsciously, habitually, impulsively. And when it manipulates, we have to awaken from the default mind, from the futility to the freedom. So, however, Master teaches, they say mind often believes peace can be obtained by changing people, situation, circumstances, relationship. We are trying to fix a hairstyle by bending the mirror. Last time I discussed. Is it possible? So I should remember, these metaphors. If you remember the metaphor, if I teach this guy a good lesson, I will be in peace. Not possible. Translate this metaphor into many situations, relations, confusion. If I teach him a good lesson and then I will be happy. No, your happiness is not in teaching a lesson. So why this happens? This stems from misidentification. The default mind mistakes external reflections for the source of happiness. It assumes if I adjust what is outside, my inner world will change. I will be happy if I teach him a good lesson. If I react to this guy, then I will be happy. If I leave this guy, I will be happy. Long list of thoughts enters into our mind. We have to maintain our notice. We have to notice. We have to live in self-awareness. We have to rethink. We have to redirect our attention inward. When the discomfort arises, pause and ask, what inner pattern am I trying to change by fixing the outer world or a person or a relations? The dad is not listening to you. So you keep listening to the dad. That is the best option available to me. Yes, dad. Yes, dad. Yes, yes, yes. You are right. Can I give you a cup of coffee? Yes. So now your dad calmed down. You gave him a cup of coffee. Dad, can I ask you a question? So you articulate the question to help him raise the awareness to get the things done. Discerning mind. By this metaphor, outer change without inner clarity merely rearranges the same problem. So if the other situation is very terrible, situation is uncompromising, nobody is listening to your discerning intellect, so you just keep to calm down. My master used to give a beautiful metaphor with that. Whenever there is a storm in the Himalayas at the height of 12,000 feet, where my master's monastery was, whenever you have a snowstorm, hide yourself in a cave. Wait for the storm to calm down before you come out again in freedom. Do you see how the master uses? Recall a time you tried to change your environment to feel better by discernment. Another metaphor we use is the mirage. What keeps you chasing happiness? The pursuit of pleasure through possession, success, or relationship resembles a thirsty traveler chasing a mirage. So just, make a fun of your default mind. Are you chasing mirage? The excitement arises, fades, craving grows, idea of possession lives with it. Oh, mirage. Desire projects happiness onto the external forms. It may be a person, it may be a situation. Once attained, the novelty fades because happiness isn't the object but in the temporary objects. The one woman who sent me an email 2 weeks ago, she has been attending the sessions almost the same time when you started. So now I am living in peace and happiness and love and wisdom, and that is all. Today we will have our last session. I said, thank you very much. 2 weeks ago.
Was she serious?
This week, yeah, she is here in Mesa. So this week she wrote me back, no, we will continue our sessions as festivals are coming, and I'm always hosting the celebration in these festivals on Christmas Eve, on Thanksgiving. So please let us continue. So I was thinking, you are celebrating a festival and you want me to continue because...
How did you respond?
I didn't respond, but I will respond this week. I said we will talk about it, but the simple response is, Eastern journey of the Eastern wisdom is complete when you have a sense of fearlessness, when you have freedom from anxiety, duality, and a conflict. When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. In all the actions of your life. Every day you wake up into that state of real self. So session does not decide the goal. Your state inside completes the journey. You have to check yourself. You have to check yourself. Who the hell I am? You say it is done, I will say done. You say it is not done, I will say it is not done. Let us continue.
Does the master ever tell the student, though, that he is done?
Never.
No.
Because it is the student who expresses, who recognizes. Now, when you recognize the real self, it is an irreversible process. It is an irreversible state. Now you express to yourself that I am in peace and happiness. Tomorrow you wake up in the morning, the first thing you recognize, you are in peace and happiness. There is no electricity. You are not agitated and react. You say, that's okay. If it is not, then what? So in every situation, that peace and happiness from the behind keeps on working. It never fades away. And then the student expresses the same to the teacher. And then the teacher says, do you find it all the time? Do you feel it that it is present in all the locations? Then you have a greater humility. You want to continue for the sake of, can you complete? For the sake of expressing the Eastern wisdom in your life with your family members, because you evolved, and hence your presence helps to evolve others, because now your response, your thought, your speech, your action, everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
So now the two awakened people communicate. So you continue the journey. But sometime then the master says, yes, now the master says, your path, you walk alone, let me also walk alone. So sometime, so we get rid of the hamster wheel, the third example which I gave you last time. What keeps you restless? Hamster wheel. Restless is based on the past. Past is based on the memory. Memory is based on the experiences you accumulated with a particular situation, person. Mind says repeat it. That's why you are restless. You know, your mind knows that it is not going to help me, and still mind says repeat it. So you have a struggle in between yes and no, restlessness, hamster wheel, restlessness. So whenever you have a restlessness, it is because of the default mind. You have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Then comes our discerning intellect, what brings the true freedom. True freedom comes from discerning intellect. Means the mind lives with the discernment is the discerning intellect. Mind becomes the intellect. The discerning intellect discerns between the real and the unreal, between the changing and the unchanging, between what changes and what remains. It replaces reaction with response and reflection. So that is why we say it is a higher faculty. It attacks the delusion, guiding the seeker from unconscious habit to a conscious choice, deluded mind, impure mind. It is the fire that purifies the fog of the default mind. So when you strengthen the discernment through a regular study, reflection, practice intentional living, setting clear intention before action. The discerning intellect, level of the discerning intellect, or the intensity of the discerning intellect comes by the committed approach. I talked about the casual approach and the committed approach. What sustains an awakening? Commitment to yourself. Commitment transforms fleeting insight into a steady realization. It is disciplined path that turns into a way of being. Casual effort sustains confusion. All the five different states of the default mind. So by committed approach, you are replacing your habit of the casual mind, of the foolish mind, of the deluded mind, of the impure mind, of the reactive mind. And that brings the change in your life. So you see, we are still in the first verse. First verse points out the how to transform this foolish mind, the second layer, casual mind, and then comes the foolish mind, from confusion to clarity. And the master says, people, we misunderstanding. Master says, look inside, no, don't look outside. When you are confused, when you are anxious, when you are reactive, when you have a duality, when you have a conflict, look inside. When you look inside, you drop the thoughts of your foolishness. We don't look at it. We say, no, let me find the solution outside. Honey, now I'm sorry. I still love you. Honey says, I hate you. Get lost. And you have a lot of fear. Oh, why you have a lot of fears? If she divorces, my account balance will deplete. You are relating to everything outside.
Yeah.
I know, that's why you are not marrying. You have a lot of money. Murmate refers to the foolish mind.
That's not why.
No, I'm just joking. Murmate refers to the foolish mind. Murmate.
Yeah.
Ignorant, dull, and resistance to growth, it is the state where awareness is clouded by lethargy and confusion. And this state of the mind arises when the mind forgets its luminous nature and becomes entangled in sensory and mental heaviness. Now I can say today, you have asked me that question again and again and again and again and again. What is that question? You asked me the question that do you mind that if I go for a sexual pleasure? And the answer is here. Answer is here. You see the pleasure in the sex. That is the problem. Sex is not a problem. You asked me questions, at least I would say 50 times. And I said, no, let me wait. Let me reach to a point. So now you compare the 5 types of the default mind and find out from where this question has been asked. By your default mind, you will have the answer. So what happens in seeking that kind of a pleasure, you have a slow thinking, you have a lack of enthusiasm, you have a poor focus, you have an emotional dullness, you have a habitual procrastination. Then only you start seeking those things, and then you are wasting your time in thinking to have those thoughts.
Yeah.
And that is the problem. That is another metaphor I gave. The fog of letharginess. Letharginess, so there are many ways to get rid of the letharginess in the modern world. We already have, energy boosters, available in all the convenience stores. So you get out of the lethargy. How? By excitement, by boosting your energy level artificially. Sex is one of them. Sex is one of them. So when the foolish mind feels heavy, slow, and sleepy, in yoga, one master, Patanjali, master who has written the sutras of Yoga Sutra, he calls it a donkey mind. This dullness blocks both clarity and willpower. Lethargy comes from unregulated habit. overeating, oversleeping, overthinking, aimless scrolling, mental self indulgence, and it drains you both physical vitality and mental sharpness. Oh, I feel heaviness, so let me take a shot. That is what we say, shot.
Like of alcohol?
Alcohol or energy shot.
Yeah.
To begin, you have to begin by purifying that is the dirt and the dust. Shining floor is already present inside. You have to remove it.
Mm.
Instead of accumulating more fog of letharginess, that is the understanding of a seeker. Yes, in foolish mind repeats the mistake again and again. That is why you asked me that question more than 50 times.
Yeah.
I evaded that answer, direct answer. Now here is the direct answer. You are a higher seeker. So compare. You keep the default mind and its 5 different attributes on one side, and one side this thought. Answer, you will find the answer.
Mm.
The trap of ignorance, why we repeat mistakes. Foolish mind does not learn, does not want to learn, does not want to accept the knowledge. It accepts the knowledge intellectually, but it doesn't apply it. Foolish mind. It dismisses feedback and persistence because it is governed by the unconscious belief system. Unconscious belief, oh, is there any problem in having a sex? There is no problem in having a belief system. An egoistic defense mechanism that fear. Now you understand. So we understand each and every action, over every instinct, and a greater and deeper understanding. You have a cognitive understanding that changes your attitude, behavior, and conduct.
Yeah.
Changes your thought, speech, and action. For the last almost, I would say, 5 or 6 or 7 sessions, you did not talk about that question. And then I thought it is better to bring it now to make you understand that you have changed.
I mean, like, sex is pleasurable, like, as it relates to the body, but if you know you're not the body, then okay.
Pleasure is not there.
Then the pleasure really isn't there. And there's plenty of times where 2 people will have sex and then right afterwards they regret it. And they go, oh, what did I just do? Or there's some women where sex is painful to them. So there's all these different things about sex. And somebody feels bad about themselves, so they go have sex with a woman thinking that's going to make themselves feel better, and it doesn't.
So it means I'm projecting pleasure in the act of sex. That projection I experience, and that projection fades away. I feel frustrated.
Correct, because it didn't give you what you thought.
Unexamined assumption is guiding me that there is a pleasure in it. And that leads to the foolish mind, that leads the foolish mind to emotionally unstable sadness, apathy, hopelessness.
I know I have friends like all the time, they give me a hard time because I don't really have a lot of sex, but like it's because I choose not to because
Be sad. When the emotion is observed, it releases. When you resist it, it rules you.
Yeah.
How it, when you resist because you keep on thinking about it, and that is the nature of the foolish mind.
Yeah.
And the discerning intellect, by the discerning intellect, you rise beyond this foolishness.
Yeah.
Awareness dispels your darkness. Each moment of conscious choice replaces ignorance with the insight and restlessness with the peace. That is the, so from foolish mind to, from the foolish mind to a discerning intellect, and it helps you to live into the higher level of a seeker. And higher level of a seeker is fairly calm and relaxed. And
Yeah.
with that calmness and relaxation, it works in daily life. What is the way? The path of transformation we discussed about it is satsang. If you I'm reminding you, satsang, satsang, sat means real, sang means company, company of the real. In my thought, in my speech, in my action, in the activities that I do. So how my mind changes by listening and learning these principles of Eastern wisdom, the first step. Contemplation and reflection is the second step. Then practice and experience is the third step. And I added the fourth one. You analyze every day how many times you have been to anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Reflect on this. Reflect on this. The more your reflection is done, the better it is in our daily